Let me load this down here for the background music, just a tad bit more. I may sound a little better because I am working with a new device, but good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and peace and blessings, peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Keep me in the algorithm, please. And as I've told you guys, for those who have been listening, I'm just not covering, that beef sector within the beef sector stuff. I have many interests, and strolling through the YouTube streets, looking at the different things I like to look at, looking at the different type of content that I enjoy to watch, I came across a trailer for a movie that is coming out called The Iron Claw. Yes, The Iron Claw. And it's basically a movie about the wrestling industry, about a family a long time ago in wrestling called the Von Erichs. Their father was a wrestler. Pretty much all the brothers participated in wrestling. And till this day, even some of the children of the Von Erichs participate in wrestling. So apparently this story is going to cover the good old days of the sportatorium. Yes, the good old days of wrestling in the sportatoriums. And let me give you a little background on my interest in wrestling and why I am taking an interest in this. Back in the day on Sunday, when I was living in Illinois, growing up as a preteen, as a child, you woke up, they had the praise church shows on. And one of the things I started watching in the morning was wrestling. Now, mind you, I'm watching it in the morning, so I'm not staying up for the late night wrestling at that point in time, which I believe was WWF back then, but now it is WWE as we know it. And so I took an interest in it. It was funny. It was good. They had different characters. And so one of the first wrestlers from this movie, which is one of the main characters, Kevin Von Erich, he was one of the first persons I saw. And I enjoyed watching him. And as a teen girl growing up, I thought he was cute. Then I found out they were brothers. There was David, Kerry, Michael, their cousin Lance, which we won't get into that because he's technically not a biological cousin. He was just brought in because of, and we'll get into that too, because I'm not going to sit here and spoil everything about it. But, so that was my interest. So over this period of time, that period of time of years, I got into it. I didn't know any better. So I thought in my mind it was real, but it was not. But they did a good job of making you like who the heroes were and dislike who the bad guys were until you finally mature and you realize what's going on, of course. And so one of the big battles back then was the Von Erich family against the Fabulous Freebirds. And I'm going to shout out them to Michael P.S. Hayes. The P.S. sound stands for Purely Sexy. Buddy Roberts and Bam Bam Terry Gordy. Yes, yes, and yes. And so I loved watching them battle. I loved their back and forth. I mean, when they got together, it was definitely a party in the ring. It was enjoyable to watch. I mean, they gave some of the best wrestling for that era of time. I mean, they were really running it. They were really running it. And so within a year of watching, I believe the eldest brother at that point had passed away. I didn't know what he had passed away of. And then gradually on down the line, other members of that family, we're just going to say for YouTube safety, passed away. Because the movie is going to discuss how they majority of those brothers passed away, and there's only one surviving brother, which is Kevin. But let's get to this trailer here, because I am amazed with the people they picked to play the parts. So let me pull up my phone here, because I want to give you guys a good rundown here of who you can expect to see and who are these people anyway. I mean, that's the best way I'm gonna say it. Let's see. I'm gonna pull it up right now. Just bear with me. Iron. There we go. I'm gonna pull this cast here. All right, so the cast now, mind you, most of these actors, I'm just gonna say all of these actors that are in this show, I know not who they are. I've never heard of them, you know. So I'm just gonna go down the list here. We got Jeremy Allen White. He is playing Kerry Von Erich. We have Zac Efron, which I'm hearing a lot of good things about him as an actor, period. He is going to be playing Kevin Von Erich. Then we have Maxwell Jacob. He is going to be playing the cousin, Lance Von Erich. And then we have Lily James. She is going to be playing Pam Addison. I believe that is going to be Kevin's eventually wife. And Harris Dickinson, he is going to be playing David Von Erich. Hope McCallany, he is going to be playing Fritz Von Erich. Aaron Dean Eisenberg, he is going to be playing Mr. Rick Flair. We have Stanley Simmons, who is going to be playing Mike Von Erich. We have Brad Pierce. He is going to be playing Michael P.S. Hayes. We have Ryan Nesmith. He is going to be playing Gino Hernandez, the Raging Bull. And then we also have Kevin Anton. He is going to be playing Harley Race. And we have Crazy Louis Sergantino. He is going to be playing Bruiser Brody. We have more here. Maura Tierney, she is going to be playing Doris Von Erich. So she is actually going to be playing the mother of the Von Erich's boys. Then we actually have Chavo Guerrero Jr., yes, the wrestler himself. He is going to be playing the Sheik. We got Mike Dell. He's going to be playing a 1950s referee. We have Michael Harney. He is going to be playing Bill Mercer. We have Scott Ines. He is going to be a ring announcer. We have Jim Gleason. He is going to be playing a doctor eventually, some point in this movie. Cassidy O'Reilly. I guess he's going to be playing himself. They don't have him listed with an actual part. We have Ernest Marsh. He is going to be playing a cowboy. Jillian Dulce Vida. He is the sound man, whoever the sound man is. I guess, I mean, this plays an important part here too, because you have to understand, in the good old days of the sportatorium and wrestling, it was actually, Michael Hayes was one of the first wrestlers to actually come out with music. That really started in the era of the Von Erichs and the Freebirds. That's where it truly started. So look for him. He's going to be playing an important role. And then for all you guys who know wrestling, you know about Gary Hart and Christina Michelle. She's playing a smaller part too. Brett Bouillabaisse, he's playing a friend of Fritz. And Glenn Warner, he's playing a VIT ticket holder. And I'm going to guess that this is going to play a big role too. And this is why, because if you have ever watched any of the wrestling matches with the Von Erichs, Freebirds, Bruiser Brody, he's going to be played in this on a show too, Harley Race. The Sportatorium, they had their favorites. So if you was truly the bad guy, you had problems because they really didn't have security back then. So I remember a match where it was, and this wasn't even in the Sportatorium. This was actually in another Texas stadium where there was a tag team. I don't even think it was Von Erichs. It was another big tag team they had. But they had this team called the Super Destroyers. And of course they won. and the crowd went nuts. People were throwing food, chairs. I mean, the Sportatorium, as far as fans, got wild. It was crazy, but what a ride back then. That's when to us it was really real. So I'm guessing that character is going to be one of the main people that they're probably going to show as that person was always there. So, I mean, so some of these smaller parts that they're really laying out, you can tell they really did their research to try to capture the real spirit of the Sportatorium and how it went down back then. So, and if you've watched the trailer, you know, you see Kerry Von Erich doing discus, because he was actually, I don't know if he didn't make the team or what was the case with him making the team, but he was in the trials to get on the team doing discus. He was a discus champion. I mean, all the Von Erichs were very athletic. They all participated in sports. So yeah, so you're gonna see a lot of stuff you didn't know, because this is a movie. So they are going to talk about other maybe happy points in their life or down points in life that we've never heard about or seen. So this is what this trailer is laying out. Now, a lot of the wrestling stuff, I can tell you right now, I mean, and it's all over YouTube for you to view. I'm telling you, all you got to do is look up the Von Erich family in YouTube and trust and believe. There's tons of information out there on that, just tons of it for you to read and research. But mostly I would suggest just first of all, watch the matches. Because what they do in wrestling now is completely different than what they did back then. Completely and totally different. So, I mean, I don't know how long, what the running time for the movie. I'll have to look that up. But it looks like they're going to be doing a good job within maybe a 2-hour time frame to really do a good story on them. And that's something I have said for a long time, that there needs to be some type of real good movie on them. But also, too, their counterpart, the Fabulous Freebirds, there needs to be a film on them as well, too, because the popularity of the Von Erichs wouldn't have been what it was if there were no Freebirds. It was a balance. We're talking about when these groups got together, when the Von Erichs got together with them Freebirds, and that was on the ticket, it was full house. Everybody was showing up. Everybody and their mama, their grandmama, everybody. They was all showing up. You know, and I can even say as a viewer watching that as growing up, I mean, if they were talking about, yeah, that's going to be the final match of the show, I was just like, oh, I'm definitely staying to the end, because I want to see the Von Erichs fight the Freebirds and the Freebirds fight the Von Erichs. So it looks like it is going to be very, very good. I will look to see, I mean, Kevin Von Erich, if you've ever seen any of his interviews and stuff like that, he's a very kind-hearted person. So if the movie really sucks, he's not going to say anything about it. That's what I predict. I believe that if it's really good and it really projects his family and really gives the public some real information on the tragedy that has happened in that family, I think, you know, he's searching for some fairness in the transparency that has always gone on. But also, too, you got to remember, too, when they were doing their thing back in the 70s and the 80s and into the early 90s, you know, wasn't no internet, wasn't no Twitter, wasn't no Facebook, wasn't no any of that, you know. But I just want to give people heads up on that. If you watch wrestling, I have put the link for the trailer in the description of this video, so that way you can go check it out yourself. I've been looking for reactions. I think it's caught a lot of content creators that do talk about wrestling off guard. So I'm going to push that so I can get, a wide consensus on that, because there's some bigger platforms that have more tools than I do to really give a good in-depth reaction to the trailer and really bring up some facts and videos that you can see. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, because I just got a new device myself and I'm learning how to work that out. And I'm gonna have to add more devices because there's more that I want to do with my videos and stuff like that. Before I start paying for that higher membership with StreamYard over here, I want to be able to do some stuff, because right now it does not make sense to me to pay for that type of membership, and I'm not doing all that, so. But the link's in the description of this video, but I want to give everybody a heads up. Go watch that trailer, go watch it again, and get ready, because if this is actually going to be a movie theater, I might actually go and see it. And I haven't been really in a movie theater in about 10 years. So it would take something like this to bring me out. But with that said, adding something to the video library. Now we have a reaction for that. Oh my goodness. But let's talk about some other stuff too. Joseline's Cabaret did end. So my whole consensus on that is, I'm just going to give a quick synopsis and review on how I feel about it. I think it was a very more positive season for Joseline's Cabaret. They had their fights and stuff like that, but Zeus Network, I guess they actually listened to the people who saying, hey, we want to act. If they're going to be in a show dancing and stuff like that, we want the drama, but we also want to see them working towards that, because it's not making sense. The math is not mathing. And I think after the season 3 reunion, they had no choice but to go in a direction of making it more positive. Because let's be real, that was a disaster. That almost shut down her career and shut down the Zeus Network. So they got out of that one really good by the grace of God. God is giving y'all one more chance, Zeus. So that is what that is. So, and we'll have some other shows to catch up on too here in a minute too. I just got to get around to it. It's getting the holidays, it's getting busy. My job, my employment is getting busy because I am a customer service supervisor in a very big retail giant. So I do a lot every day. So kind of gets hard here when we're getting into the holidays and stuff like that. And although that Who Nots and Kikiing and all that good stuff, but we're gonna end this. So just like I said, the link is in the description. Check it out, please. Check it out. We got the Von Erichs in a movie. I've always said there should be one, but also I feel there should be one for the Fabulous Freebirds. So my question now is, where is the Fabulous Freebird movie? Because the tales that I heard Michael Hayes talk about between him, Buddy Roberts, and Terry Gordy, that's a television show, honey. But anyway, I'm out. Have a nice evening. We're going into the weekend. You folks in Minneapolis, bundle up because it's acting a fool out there. Good morning, good evening, good night, peace and blessings, and I am out.